Hi everyone! Welcome to another episode of Merri Games with you. Today, we are looking at how to get wild wolves, secure them in a pen, tame them and bring a few back to the vertical farm at my main base nearby. All in all, there'll be 15 tips on how to go about farming wolves. Tip number 1. Find a safe and easy spot to tame a wolf. In my last video, I told you I like to build my main base at the border of the meadows biome and the black forest biome, with the mountains biome to the rear. And that was because I want to be near wolves. So, a good spot obviously has to be near wolves, and we determined that by listening. If you can hear a wolf call while still being on the border of the mountains biome, that means a spawning point for wolves is nearby. But that is not enough. The spot should fulfill a few other requirements. The best spot, I believe, is either between the mountain biome and the meadows or the black forest biomes. The other biomes are just too dangerous and would make taming the wolves a risky business, as they could very possibly be killed as soon as you tame them, or even before that. The meadows is safest, but the wolves are not always located near there. So, if you find wolves at the Black Forest, you still need to ensure that there are no grey dwarf nests nearby. Or, if you do, destroy the nests or make it impossible for the grey dwarfs to exit the nest. Make sure there are no troll spawns nearby too. You don't want to waste all your effort to tame wolves only for them to die at the hands of a mob. Another factor to take into consideration when choosing a spot is that the land should be either level or only gently inclined. You are going to create a pen at that location, and a steep slope is going to pose too many difficulties. Getting the wolves into the pen and taming them are hard enough. Don't add on problems with stamina and building on a steep slope. Tip number 2. Test to see if the spawn point is near enough. Before you start creating the pen, test to see if the wolves will come to where the pen is going to be. There is no point building a pen only to discover they won't run all the way there. When you do this test, make sure your inventory is mostly empty, as there is a strong chance you may die. Also place a portal nearby in a safe spot, and have the bed where you want to respawn at selected. Plus, please do this during the day. Make life easier for yourself. When that is all done, make noise. You can do this by chopping a tree or mining a rock. Then wait and observe. Be patient. If a wolf is nearby, it will come walking slowly in your direction. Then, when it is near, it will suddenly charge. It is alright to let the wolf kill you, as it will leave after it has done so. If you climb up a high spot, it will keep badgering you and won't leave. Return via the portal after having eaten food and regenerated your health points. Tip number 3. Use your pickaxe and hoe to create a hole in the ground. It is possible to use wood or core wood to build a pen, but that is a bad idea, as wolves cause 70 slash damage, and that sort of pen will not last long enough, or you will have to continuously repair it, and that attracts the attention of the wolves, lengthening the taming time. Plus, other mobs can damage the pen as well. Stone does not last that much longer as well. So if the ground is relatively flat, use your pickaxe to dig out a hole of about 2 by 3 meters or 3 by 3 meters. It should be about 3 meters deep, or maybe a little bit more. The sides should be steep so that the wolves cannot climb or run out. They are good at jumping and getting their claws into anything sticking out, so they must not be given the chance to scramble their way out. Where you need to, use the hoe to raise the dirt a bit if there's a slight incline to the ground. And then make sure to test that you can get out of that hole. Tip number 4. Have a what I like to call a safe house for yourself near the pen. Either build a hut or a sheltered platform, or use a nearby structure like a tower to stay near the pen. Wolves will stop taming once you are no longer in range. Fandom Wiki says beyond 64 meters, depending on the zone. I think you should just sit down by a fire under a roof of some sort and just wait. Okay, once the shelter is ready, it is time to go get your wolves. Needless to say, you should clear out any vegetation or rocks that might get in the way of a clear field of view or provide obstacles to you or the wolves. Make sure your food bar and health points are full too. But before that, I want to talk about how you build if your spot is not ideal. If you could not find a safe location on the border between biomes, and you had to build a trap inside the mountains biome itself in an unsafe spot, this is what I would do. I would dig out a pen big enough so that I could share the pen with the wolves. Once I liked the size and depth of the pen, I'd raise a wall between the wolf side of the pen and my own. You'd only need a tiny space for a fire, a workbench, maybe a chest, and yourself. Then I'd place a roof over my head and the fire and hunker down. This pit would have to be a bit deeper than the one I described earlier, as long as you can still jump out of it. This is because the golem will be able to smash your roof if it is not. If you could also place a portal nearby by digging a space out under a rock, that is even better, because there's a high chance you will need it. Get this all ready before you get the wolves, or just work on it as it goes. It can be unpredictable as it is not an ideal situation. If you notice, this is indeed a dangerous spot right next to a drake nest. Just kill the drakes first before you start digging, if this is where you happen to build your pen. However, I don't recommend doing this unless you have no choice. It is very challenging. I had to keep killing the drakes every time they respawned, and there was even a golem nearby. And at one point, the wolves came running too, when I was not ready for them. The main reason I tried this was because I was looking for night wolves. However, I did not manage to find any that time. Tip number 5. Only wear basic armor and have little if no inventory. Back to getting the wolves. Before you attract their attention, store your inventory or good armor away in a chest somewhere and start making noise. This leads to tip number 6. Tip number 6. Use noise to lure. Why risk going into the mountain biome when they will come with noise? Going to the wolf and making them chase you back is risky and unnecessary. You could encounter 4 to 5 wolves instead of just 1. Then you die and time is wasted, especially if you were still wearing your armor and had a full inventory. You would have to go retrieve everything. Instead, cut a tree or hit a rock to lure the wolf or wolves to the edge of the pen. Only go find them if this fails. Tip number 7. Be the bait. In this example, I made a pen on the edge of the meadows biome and the mountain biome. I was trying for that night wolf as they tend to produce starred wolves, and I was lucky. Finally, I found a 1-starred wolf. Anyway, just as the wolf comes dashing at you on the edge of the pen, jump in, so the wolf's momentum will make it fall in as well. As soon as you land inside, jump out again. Repeat with the second wolf. The wolves should be trapped inside. If you don't make it out, that is fine. You will respawn at your bed and can return to the site because of your portal. Run back with the food for taming if you haven't already thrown food into the pit. If any of you have tried out other kinds of pens, I'd be interested to hear about them in the comment section below. Plus, if you like my video, smash that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any new ones. Tip number 8. Feed your wolf any raw meat and stay nearby. If you have a boar farm up and running, the best meat to use would be boar meat. If not, deer meat or necktail is fine too. Taming a wolf takes about 30 minutes and only needs 3 pieces of meat. However, whenever the animals become alerted, this lengthens the tame time and requires more meat. You will know they are alerted if they have an exclamation mark above their heads. I would throw 5 pieces of meat per wolf. As I usually have 2 wolves in the pen at a time, I'd throw in 10 meat. Tip number 9. Build a roof over your pen to protect them from mobs. I would suggest building a roof over your pen or some walls around it before you start taming them. If your pen is in the Black Forest or meadows, the mobs there are going to be throwing stones at them, and if you don't protect them, you are going to lose them. You are investing a fair amount of time in these animals, and you don't want that time wasted. Tip number 10. Digging the pen next to a copper or stone node. It isn't necessary, but I consider this a bonus. If I find a stone or copper node near the spawning site, I dig the pit next to it. While the wolves are taming, I would usually dig out a tunnel from the other side of the copper or stone node. I would dig down and then under the node, breaking the bottom of the node out so I can enter the stone or copper node. Then I'd hollow it out a bit and prepare another area for breeding that is protected by the stone or copper. Once the wolves are tamed, I'd let them breed. When the pups are born, I'd make the adults follow me to the new section, and because they are now far enough away, I'd breed them again. Breeding pairs of wolves need to be more than 10 meters apart, or they will stop reproducing once there are 3 within 10 meters. When I have several sets of wolves in both sections, I'd lead 3 back to the main base to get the wolf farm up and running. Tip number 11. Run more than 2 back to the main base. Eventually, once you have plenty of spares, run at least 3 or 4 wolves back to your main base if it is nearby. It is possible to bring them back by boat using stairs and floors, but it can be risky as the wolves will die if they collide into anything while on the boat, or they may fall out and fight a serpent. I prefer running them back to my main base as it's always close to where I tame wolves. Tip number 12. Carry some raw meat during the run back. Try to avoid grey dwarfs of any kind, and especially trolls. It is possible that they will be killed by a troll or too many hits from too many dwarfs. Expect to have at least 1 wolf die. Carry some food along with you as you run, and make sure the wolves are fed before you start as it helps them heal faster. If the run is long, the extra food you brought along will help them heal. If they pop out some babies, just leave the babies behind. Your main aim is to get the wolves safely to the base so they can start producing babies there. Tip number 13. Use the gently inclined stairs to bring the wolves up. I like to breed my animals using the vertical farm method. That means I have to bring the wolves up to the second floor of this farm. That means you should have the stairs already built using the stairs build piece. Wolves cannot climb the ladder. This is the best way they will get up to a higher level, though you could use the gently inclined roof piece as well. Tip 14. Use the 1 meter floor tiles below the wolves in the pen. The reason for this is because we will be removing most of the tiles to allow the babies to drop to the lower level. But each wolf will still need at least 1 tile to stand on, or it will fall below as well. Tip number 15. Remove 3 of the 4 floor tiles to allow the babies to drop. Once the pens are ready, lead or push the wolves into the pens you want them to enter, then seal them in. Add half walls that stick out a bit so that food thrown to the wolves will drop in the spot you want them to when the food hits the wall. Use the food thrown to get the wolves to face the direction you want if they are not doing that. Once they are in the best position you can determine, remove 3 pieces of the 1 meter floor tiles. This ensures they do not move much and that the babies will drop through the holes to the pen below. Well, I've had a lot of fun making this video. I hope you enjoyed it too and learned something along the way. If you have any ideas, thoughts or comments to share, please do so in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear from you. Smash that subscribe button if you like my video and don't want to miss the next one. Thanks for staying till the end. Bye everyone. See you next time.